So Marvel Comics has been pushing out a lot of games recently for many different genres, and it's actually pretty cool to see. We got beat 'em ups, VR games, open world stuff, and so much more. In particular, Marvel Rivals rolled in last year and became one of the most popular hero shooters in the genre, rivaling bigger titles like Overwatch in terms of player numbers. It introduced a lot of people to different Marvel characters that many might not have heard of, and became some people's first shooting game. For the Marvel Rivals players that are currently watching this video, I'm sure that many of you got really good at the game by brushing up on a lot of fundamental concepts like matchup knowledge, aiming, positioning, etc. Or maybe you haven't and you've been struggling hard in the bronze ranks, or are just simply having fun duking around in quick matches. Whichever kind of Marvel Rivals player you are, what if I told you that there's another upcoming Marvel game that has almost the same fundamental skills you need to get good at Marvel Rivals? If you're already good, or at least decently experienced at Marvel Rivals, you'll definitely be good at this game. What title is that, you ask? Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is an upcoming 4v4 Marvel fighting game that is created by the developers of Dragon Ball FighterZ, Guilty Gear, DNF Duel, and the Grapple Fantasy vs. series if you're familiar with those. While not quite the Marvel vs. Capcom games, Marvel Tokon does take some aspects from those titles. But I know what you're thinking. What does me being experienced at Marvel Rivals have to do with Marvel Tokon? Well, first of all, yes, Tokon is a fighting game, and I know some of you are probably scared by that thought, but trust me, you'd actually be very surprised by how familiar Marvel Tokon will feel to you if you've played Marvel Rivals. Let me start explaining. In Marvel Rivals, both teams have a particular spawning point on their side of the map where they return to after dying. One of the most monumental mistakes I see Rivals players making is that once their team kills everyone on the other team, or the other team backs up due to pressure, they don't push up and claim space. The more space your team claims, the harder it is for the opponent's team to fight back to reach the objective. Essentially, you don't want to give the other team any breathing room. Keep them pinned near their spawn and watch as they desperately try to break through your defenses. This is called spawn camping. Just make sure that you communicate with your teammates to push whenever you all kill or have more players than the other team. In Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, this same concept actually still applies, believe it or not. In Tokon, your goal is to push the opponent to the corner or wall. When your opponent is cornered, their options to retreat are limited, becoming easier targets to hit. Your opponent also might become tilted or angry, potentially making them take dangerous risks. This is a huge part of how you win not only in fighting games, but also in Marvel Rivals, so a lot of your strategy has to be created around achieving this goal. Another concept in Marvel Tokon that will be familiar to Marvel Rivals players is character attack ranges. In Marvel Rivals, characters can fight at different distances depending on the ranges of their attacks and abilities. Because of this, some characters have an easier time fighting against others because they are engaging at distances that the opposing character can't reach. Take a character like Iron Man, for example. He can fly high in the air and has long-range attacks. On the other hand, a character like Hulk has extremely slow movement speed, is huge, and doesn't have many long-range attacks. When thinking about it, Iron Man will have a much easier time fighting Hulk because he can fight him at a distance where Hulk isn't effective. This concept is known as distance advantage, and it's even present in Marvel Tokon and fighting games as a whole. If you're a Street Fighter fan, I'm sure you've seen the classic Dawson vs Zangief matchup numerous times. While always a treat to watch, that matchup is the best way to present how some characters in fighting games are only effective at certain distances. For those who don't know, Dawson is a character with long-range attacks that can strike from afar. Alternatively, Zangief is a grappler with powerful command grabs that put fear in opponents up close. However, he has to be close to his opponent in order to land him, whereas Dawson just needs to be far away. It's also worth mentioning that Zangief doesn't have the movement speed to potentially sneak in on Dawson quickly. Having said all of this, Zangief has to work hard to get to his optimal distance, while Dawson can just bully him from afar. If we're using Tokon as an example, Miss Marvel is a character that wants to get in on her opponents and brawl at them at close ranges, but a character like Doom, who can stay back and throw out projectiles, won't let her get in at all. Moving on to my next point, watching replays of players who are better than you has always been recommended in Marvel Rivals. The game's leaderboard gives you the option to see replays from every player in the top ranks. Additionally, the replay feature allows you to slow the video down, speed it up, change points of view, and much more. When watching a replay for yourself, you can always learn something from it. You can learn how stronger players play characters that you play, how they play against other characters, how they position themselves, and much more. You can even ask a friend who is more experienced than you to watch replays alongside you. In Marvel Tokon, watching pro replays to improve will be just as effective. While we haven't seen the replay feature in the game yet, I'm 100% sure that it will be in the game since all the other recent Arc System Works fighting games have it. In these replays, you want to see what combos and mix-ups stronger players are doing, how they are playing against certain characters, and emulate them. Just like in Rivals, if you come across a character that you have a stressful time fighting against in Tokon, You can always just look at replays to see how stronger players are dealing with them or the specific thing that is giving you trouble. But there's one concept in particular that connects both Rivals and Tokon critically: adaptation. Quickly learning from your mistakes and changing your approach if something isn't working is essential in just about every competitive game you play. Losing to the same thing over and over again is completely unacceptable if we're being honest. In the case of Marvel Rivals, it's interesting because this is a team game. Not only do you have to keep track of your mistakes, but you also have to pay attention to your team. Is your team missing out on damage? Consider switching to a duelist character. Are you guys not surviving in fights long enough? Maybe you guys might need more healers or tanks. Whatever it is, switching heroes mid-match to counter enemy strategies or better support your team's needs is extremely vital. If we're taking it back to Marvel Tokon, imagine if you kept getting jumped in on for throwing projectiles. Are you going to keep throwing out projectiles constantly? No, because you would just keep dying over and over. Instead, you should make the adjustment to start looking at the air and anti-airing the opponent. To all the Marvel Rivals players watching this, I hope this video got you somewhat interested in trying out Marvel Tokon. I personally know a couple of folks, including myself, who are really into hero shooters and fighting games. As I demonstrated throughout this video, a lot of things can overlap between these two genres, and I feel like as a Marvel Rivals player watching this, you'd be missing out not giving Marvel Tokon an honest shot. If you all want to see more Marvel Tokon content on my channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to keep up with me. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to have a nice day.